Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 23 wins in a row. Last one very easy, pretty solid. Book of Revelations means this one could be more of the same. F89Q NHAJ. Normal stats. Just getting a little settled here. This will probably be my last Isaac run of the day. Let's make that funnier, okay? This will probably be my last Isaac run of the day. Had you fooled for a second there. No, it's not going anywhere. I mean, we gotta wait another 22 years for the DLC to come out. So, I'll be sticking around until then. Bare minimum. Minimum has to be a word that came from Latin, right? We'll talk about that. That's an interesting situation. We gotta balance our Zane with our newfound respect for life. Tinted rock, always helpful. I do want to go to the curse room. Just trying to think about, because in general, like, the D100 is definitely, it trends towards the positive. The more you roll, the better on average your run will get. Which is not to say that it's going to get better every single time, but you know, the more you roll, the more likely you are to hit one of those truly incredible runs. And yeah, the more likely you are to hit one of those truly terrible runs. But if you live for 6 rooms, you just roll it again, you know? So that's why it's, you know, although the possibility of getting a bad one exists, you just, you know, you re-roll through a bad one and you don't re-roll through a perfect one. So that's my advice to you there. Are we really gonna just... Are we gonna yeet the Book of Revelations, though? Because the Book of Revelations also scales pretty well. I would say the more you use it, the better it gets. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Hear me out here. I think this is what you do to start with. We'll see what we get. You crack it. I thought it would be consumables and then we could re-roll the chest. I think we do. I think we pick it up. Roll. Okay, so we got a lot of HP out of it. And then, you know what? I think we can live with this. I think we'll live with the D100. That's very helpful, quite frankly. Not having an orbital kind of sucks, but I mean, you know the game. Like, we're gonna try to get to just having basically Tech X is really the endgame scenario for us most of the time, is to get to Tech X. So, for now, everything's better than hunky-dory. I've been having a good week, actually. It's like a little, we've been scaling back the work a little bit, and it's been nice, honestly. It's been nice to have a little bit more free time. I'm not being insincere, and again, I always like to, whenever I talk about the fact that I work, I don't want to say like I work harder than most YouTubers, because I don't think that that's an easy thing to defend. And it also casts aspersions on people I've never met before. But I do think I work more hours than your average YouTuber, for sure. But I always want to say, again, no one's putting a gun to my head. It's a combination of habit and anxiety. It's like, if I don't work this much, it's all over. Combined with like, well, I've always worked this much, so keep it going. But I'm not being facetious when I say that I think I kind of forgot what it was like to have free time throughout the week. I mean, it wasn't until 2018, I think, that I started even taking a day off weekly. I was recording 7 days a week. Not always a lot, but like every single day was like, okay, what are we going to knock out today? So the day off was incredible. But then also having a little bit more time at night has been nice. Instead of just like, well, I'm finally finished, you know, all the stuff that had to get done. It's 11:30 p.m. and now like, well, you know, hang out for 15 minutes and go to bed. You know, it's been nice. It's been nicer. What takes up that nighttime stuff? Well, like, honestly, setting videos, making thumbnails, that stuff takes time, but it doesn't take that much time. Things just pop up, you know? Like last night I got an email from an old sponsored thing that was like, hey, can you send us a hyper-specific analytics screenshots for like 20 videos and streams that you did for us? And I was like, yeah, like with a smile. I said, yeah, but in my heart I was like, you better pour over these with a fine-tooth comb. Because if I'm going to be spending, you know, 60 or 90 minutes pulling screenshots, I want it to be for, you know, a good purpose for you guys. Not just because, you know, it would be fun. But anyway, you just do it, and then, you know, it takes as much time as it takes, and you move on. Stuff like that pops up more than you'd think. It's weird. You know what? We probably should have just picked up the wafer now that I think about it. Because we're going to re-roll it anyway. It's not like it's going to benefit us much or at all right here. Anyway, I would say that for the time being, this run is in a pretty good place. The problem for me, here's my prediction. I predict we're going to get Mom's Knife. And then we're going to have to make a judgment call about whether we're just going to stick with Mom's Knife or whether we're going to roll with the D100. And I don't know where I'm at right now. I got to think it through. But yeah, hey, if you, I mean, this is maybe an enlightened centrist take. If 100% of your day is free time, my encouragement for you would be to find some sort of hobby. You know, and if the hobby could also provide some fiduciary benefit, that's great. That's gravy. But just, you know, nothing makes me agoraphobic like thinking about how to fill 16 hours a day of free time where I got nothing going on, times 7 days a week, times 52 weeks a year. I'm like, I don't know, dude. How many movies are in the Criterion collection? I don't want to have so much free time that I get bored with the things I like, I guess that's the scary part for me. Okay, that's pretty nice, actually. But if you're working too much, here's a thought. I don't know if you thought about this. If you're able to, if you can structure your life in a way that you can work less, I think up to a point, that can actually provide you with a benefit. Imagine that. Who would have thought? I think the answer's always somewhere in the middle on this one. Maybe not always somewhere in the middle, but often somewhere in the middle. Alright, so what's our game plan? Generally, when you got the D100, and it's not cheesy. I mean, we built our run to take advantage of this. We could have just stuck with Book of Revelations and, you know, probably steamrolled. The kind of dream for us, it's a little stinky, is to just re-roll enough that we get an overpowered run and then just let it roll. That's pretty much what we're looking for. And if we can get that, then literally by definition, we can't lose. So that sounds like a good one. We're just buying it to re-roll it, I'll admit. But also had some good Monster Train episodes recorded today. Got good Northernlion tries candidates today. It's been a good week. It's been a good week for that kind of stuff. We already blew up the Tinted Rock. It's okay, we're still re-rolling. Okay. Kidney Stone Hemolacria. A little bit unusual. A little bit unusual in your run. A little synergy would be fun. A little tears upgrades what I need. A very low range stats what I see. A little bit of teleporter in the... Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough! Kidney Stone Hemolacria. I rate this synergy. It's an F on the mouth scale. Fun, but also forgettable. Really, like, our rate of fire is just killing us here. We'll definitely keep it rolling. This is a little much. Or a little not enough. What's the opposite of much? Because you can't say it's a little much and then counter it with, like, it's a little. I got a question for you. Have you ever at Subway asked for more of a specific thing on your sandwich? If so, what? I have long been, here's the thing. I don't audit the sandwich. I will say they make it your way. You know, that's what they say. Even when I go to Subway on occasion, I still do when you know, I've reconciled my dispute with the Subway Sandwich Corporation. They did sue the Canadian taxpayer for providing, well, they sued the CBC for exposing that there was, you know, like 48% chicken in their chicken. And don't quote me on that one, okay? Because this is all satirical. That's why the video says satire in the tags. It doesn't actually, but maybe we should start doing that. But I'm a fan of the way the sandwiches taste, which I understand is a very strange opinion from someone who tries to consider himself a gourmand on occasion. Subway is not necessarily a very well-liked food chain, even as far as sandwich chains go. But even when I go there, they're like, you know, they have a sign that's like, if it's not perfect, tell us how we can fix it. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm eating a foot of meat and cold cuts. Do I strike you as a particularly discerning individual right now? Hey, my calorie log doesn't have enough jalapenos on it. Anyway, I've never done it. I'm kind of the opinion that, you know, Subway's like a box of chocolates. You know, if you ask for tomatoes, you don't know what you're gonna get. So I don't ask for tomatoes personally. I'm not a I don't like tomatoes on my sandwich that much. I'm growing to like them, but I don't like the wetness. And I know that, you know, for somebody who makes fun of other people for not liking, you know, mushrooms on their pizza. No, that's not true. I don't make fun of them for not liking it. That's acceptable. I also do not like mushrooms on my pizza. I make fun of them for picking the mushrooms off. Two very different things here. Don't slander me. I'm capable of doing it myself. Would I pick the tomatoes off of a sandwich? No. However, if some tomatoes slid off... Say if some tomatoes were to slide off during the consumption process, and you know who could blame you for not putting them back on? I mean, come on, you getting your hands all lycopene? I don't think so. No one could blame you. No jury in the world would convict you for that. But I was there earlier this week, and I heard someone utter the phrase, "Can I get a few more jalapenos, please?" And I was like, ooh, this is a man who knows what he wants. I wonder at what point do you just walk into the Subway and go, "Can I have 6 jalapenos on my sandwich, please?" Or is it, I don't know, maybe it's, oh, dude, I'm very happy, thank you, to have Sack Dagger, if only briefly. We've been kind of or offensively impotent for a bit here. This is much better. I wonder, is there like, do people out there play like Subway Chicken? What's that, 43% soy? No. What I mean is, stop making jokes at doctors' associates and its subsidiary companies' expense, okay? Won't somebody leave them alone? Have mercy. What I mean is, like, how many times do you think it's acceptable to ask for, "Can I get a little bit more?" before it becomes a problem? I have a hypothesis on this already, despite just coming up with it mere seconds ago. I believe that for some ingredients is nearly infinite. For shredded iceberg lettuce, I bet there is a limit where they would stop you, but it would be like the whole sandwich would be completely covered in green, like iceberg lettuce, 100%, Irish Spring. However, when we start to talk about more premium toppings, I think you might run into trouble. I think, like, you get like a layer of pickles, you get a layer of olives, you get a layer of hot peppers, even tomatoes. I bet, you know, because tomatoes by vegetable standards are relatively, by sandwich vegetable expenses, are relatively expensive. I bet, because I think they give you like 3 tomatoes for a 6-inch sandwich. I bet if you were like, "Hey, can I get another dose of tomatoes?" they'd be like, "Yeah, sure." There's 6 tomato slices. I bet if you were like, "Could you give me 3 more?" they would be like, at that point you have to pay. I truly believe that they would. Now we're just theory crafting here, I'll admit. We're just spitballing. We're just blue sky thinking. Here's another question for you. Do you know anybody in your life who does not get their Subway sandwich toasted? I've witnessed the Subway evolution over the years, you know. They used to not even toast it. Then, you know, Quiznos was kind of doing really well, so they were like, "Hey, we're going to add toaster ovens." And then they ask you, "Do you want it toasted?" And you say yes. Unless, I guess, you're in the biggest hurry of all time. Go ahead. Now, it's such they take it such for granted that you're gonna want it toasted. They don't even pose it. Oh my god, we have Mom's Knife, Incubus, and Guppy. Let's go to our deal with the angel. Let's make it interesting. They don't even pose it as a question anymore, at least at our local Subway. The gentleman behind the counter just goes, cheese and toasted. He puts like the slightest inflection on the end. He's like, he has to ask so corporate doesn't get mad at him. But at the same time, he is like, I'm wasting both of our time. I know you're going to want cheese. I know you're going to want it toasted. Like, let me put it this way. I'm not saying everybody at Subway gets cheese on their sandwich. There are people that do not like cheese, and then for health reasons, some people might not get cheese on their sandwich. But if you're ordering a foot-long cold-cut combo, you know I want cheese on that son of a gun. I've already given up on that meal as being a bastion of health. I could have gone turkey and even cut out like 200 calories and a lot of saturated fat, but something in my brain was like, nah. My inner caveman is demanding cold cuts today. I gotta be honest. You're not gonna be happy with this one, but I think this is where our story ends as far as D100 goes. I mean, come on. We got Guppy. We got Mom's Knife. We got Dark Bum. We got the Mark. We got Ma the Void. Work with me here. Like, don't... Come on. We're friends. We're friends. Oh, yay! Now we're not friends. Now I'm very upset with the game. Oh, now I'm happy again, but let's get out of here anyway. I don't know if I know anybody that... And don't get me wrong, I can get down with a, with a cold sandwich. It doesn't bother me. You know what sandwiches I can't get down with? And I've been working on this over the years, okay? I used to not enjoy tuna. Now, a tuna melt is delicious. I'll never get the seafood at Subway. It just weirds me out that it's like ice cream, scoop, mayonnaise, fish. But, a good tuna melt can be truly fantastic. If you want to make me throw up, which you don't probably, because then you'd throw up and it would be a whole cascade the world over. But a grocery store egg salad sandwich, like an egg salad sandwich made at 5:30 a.m. that's been sitting in the grocery store cooler for like 10 hours, that's enough to do it. And sometimes, like Kate really likes egg salad sandwiches. Sometimes when I go to the grocery store, she'll be like, hey, for lunch, can you give me an egg salad sandwich? I'm always going to do it, you know. But then she'll eat half of it and put the other half in the fridge, and it haunts me. That thing is a specter that lives in the refrigerator and just, you know, I swear I can smell it through the plastic. I don't think that's true or scientifically feasible in the least, but I swear to you, it has like psychic smell waves. I hate the smell of an egg salad sandwich. I hate the look of it, honestly. Now, when I say that, people go, it's good. I know it's gotta be good. It's, you know, people have been eating egg salad sandwiches for, you know, like 200 years or something. I think I'm just weird about it. And oh my god, don't even get me started. If you get on like a flight, I was on a little Alaska Airlines flight. They're on like, you know, 2-engine propeller aircrafts that have like, you know, less than 60 seats. From Seattle to Vancouver, or vice versa, I should say. Not that it matters specifically for this anecdote, but let's be specific regardless. And person a couple rows in front of me cracked open an airport egg salad sandwich. I honestly think an air marshal should have legally been able to take them down. I'm not being insincere. That's a crime, as far as I'm concerned. It's a crime of smells. If you eat stinky food, that's no problem. I'll eat stinky cheese. I'll eat all sorts of, you know, weird stuff. Doesn't bother me at all. But in a confined space, you have to be sensible. I don't even think they should sell egg salad sandwiches in like a train station or an airport. I think you're just asking for trouble. It's like selling a handgun at the gift shop. I did not mean to blow that up, actually. A key, please? No, that's all right. I mean, dude, look at this. Look at this hive mind run we got going on here now. You gotta be more conscientious about your stinky foods, you know? You ever fly out of one of those airports, I mean, back in the before times, where you could get like a whole meal to go to take on the plane? This is a very first world problem, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if there's a more miserable experience than trying to eat a meal on an airplane. Much less, like, even if I'm 0% hungry, as soon as I have food, I'm starving. I'm laughing because it's the first time I've ever, it's like I'm hearing myself say something like so honest that I'm being seen for the first time. Like, if you ask me, hey, are you hungry? There's a good chance I'd be like, I mean, I could eat, but not really. If you were like, well, guess what? I got 2 cold cut sandwiches in my bag. I would be like, now that you mention it, I'm literally famished. Why are you taking so long getting them out of the bag? Oh, we're going for it. So to buy a meal, not eat it right away, and then take it on the airplane, I think we're better off with just this, honestly. And then have to wait till you get to cruising altitude to eat it. Are you crazy? And sometimes the pilots, you know, they're taking their sweet time. They're enjoying that low flying altitude. I really have no idea what I'm talking about. I'll own up to it. Stinking up the whole plane with rotisserie chicken. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't recall. Anyway, this run, I was right. We're going to have Mom's knife. It didn't happen the way that I thought it was going to happen. But on the other hand, it's the kind of run you don't really complain about. I also want to say, it's kind of a weird Mom's knife run. Because we're fly and spider rich, which normally doesn't happen, particularly because Guppy with Mom's knife doesn't really work that well. And then, the way we got here was via the D100. And then secondarily, we've got triple shot incubus, or I think we actually have conjoined and incubus. Like, this is, it's not just your typical, like, you know, knife goes burr sort of run, you know? This is, I'll stand by this run having an electric entertainment value. I will. Now, what do I even want? Oh, okay, no deal with the devil, regardless, so let's not concern ourselves with it. Take me down to the next floor. Wonder when the next time I'll fly somewhere is gonna be. I'm not, like, missing it. It's just it's a question for curiosity's sake. I wonder, like, so I'm trying to think. The last time I flew was May 2019. So I've not been on an airplane, to the best of my memory, in about 14 months. I think that's the longest I've gone without flying since the first time I flew, which was admittedly, like, I think I was 21. I'm trying to think. So I was 21, and my parents were like, hey, you're moving to Korea for, like, a little last send-off. Let's all go to Vegas. Plus, we've never, like, flown as a family before. That's where we realized that, like, all 3 of us had a fear of flying that had just never had to be confronted. But we all got over it as we've been flying around. My parents come here all the time, and, you know, I still don't think we need any of this, quite frankly. So they fly a lot now, too. Then, like, right after that, I went to Korea. I taught in Korea for a year, so, like, 12 or 13 months after landing, I flew out again. And then, like, you know, maybe, like, 8 months after that, I moved to Vancouver. And then, you know, I went home on occasion for Christmas and then, you know, for other holidays. And then traveling to games events and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure this is now the longest I've gone without flying for a long time. For ever since the first time I flew. And then secondarily, I mean, obviously, here's the thing. I genuinely am not nervous about taking our child on an airplane, because I've talked the talk of the walk that I want to walk. You know, I think if you get rattled by a human infant crying on a flight, you're the baby. Especially, and I'm not saying I've never said stuff like this in the past, but I've grown up over the years, you know? There should be a separate airline just for newborn babies to fly on with their parents. Have you seen the margins for the airline industry to begin with? If they take 2 seats out of the plane, they're not making money. You think they're going to launch a whole baby airline? That's just insanity. Why don't you just buy some noise-canceling headphones, you weirdo? Anyway, here's the babies cry, you know? It is what it is. If an adult was crying the whole time on the flight, I would be like, get it together. You've got cognizance. You should be in control. I'm not saying you should never cry. I'm just saying, like, you know, you're disrupting people around you and you know that you're doing it. A baby is just like, I don't know what's going on, right? Most of the time. So I'm not worried about that. It just seems like traveling with 2 childless adults, or as 2 childless adults, is awesome. You know? You never need extra help with anything. You board the airplane, take your seat, and then you're good, you know? When you got a kid, you're like, oh, can you get the snacks? They really want the goldfish. Oh, not those goldfish. Get the baked ones. And then, like, for luggage, you don't just have 2 suitcases. You got, like, the big luggage trolley that's got the stroller and all the, you know, baby products that are necessary to sustain human life and stuff like that. Like, I think traveling with, like, a 3-year-old maybe is not that bad. But I don't really want to travel with a baby. Plus, I mean, obviously, we're talking the specter overhanging all of this is, you know, coronavirus. So, it's probably gonna be a while, dude. It's probably gonna be a while. I'm being genuine, by the way. I mean, and I'm sure this is not that rare of a story. I really did not fly at all until I was 21. The furthest trip that my parents and I ever took was, we went to Nova Scotia together from Ontario, which is like maybe 1,000 miles. It might be slightly more than that, but it's drivable. It didn't fly until we went to Las Vegas, which was a weird choice because none of us really gamble. Not really a great party situation when it's you at 21 and then your 2 parents in their late 40s. And then, thirdly, well, I mean, it was mostly just the gambling, I guess. But hey, Cirque du Soleil was amazing. Regardless, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps it a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. We did it. And I'll see you next time. See ya!